The early Middle Ages were a time of great change and upheaval in Europe. The Roman Empire, which had once ruled over much of the continent, had fallen centuries earlier. In its wake, numerous Germanic tribes vied for power, and Europe was divided into many small, warring kingdoms. It was a time of uncertainty and instability. Yet, from this chaos, a new power was emerging in Western Europe. The Franks, a Germanic tribe, were gradually gaining dominance. They would lay the foundation for a new empire, an empire that would bring order and unity to a fragmented continent. The Merovingian dynasty, rulers of the Franks, had been in decline for many years. Their power waned, and they became little more than figureheads. The true power behind the throne rested with the mayors of the palace, a position that had gradually become hereditary. In 751 AD, Pepin the Short, the mayor of the palace, formally deposed the last Merovingian king with the support of the Pope. Pepin the Short established the Carolingian Dynasty, named after his father, Charles Martel, the victor of the Battle of Tours. The Carolingians would usher in a new era for the Franks and for Europe. In 768 AD, Pepin the Short died, leaving his kingdom to his two sons, Carloman and Charlemagne. Carloman's unexpected death in 771 AD left Charlemagne as the sole ruler of the Frankish kingdom. Charlemagne, whose name means Charles the Great, was a formidable figure. He was tall and strong with a commanding presence. He was also a skilled warrior and a shrewd politician. Charlemagne was destined to be one of the most consequential rulers in European history. He would inherit a kingdom and he would forge it into an empire, earning him the title of Father of Europe. Charlemagne's reign was marked by almost constant military campaigns. He believed that it was his God-given duty to expand his kingdom and spread Christianity. He campaigned eastwards against the Saxons, a pagan Germanic tribe. He waged war against the Lombards in Italy, eventually conquering their kingdom and incorporating it into his own. He fought the Avars in the east, pushing the borders of his kingdom into modern-day Hungary. Charlemagne was a ruthless and ambitious conqueror, but he was also a devout Christian. He saw himself as a defender of the faith, and he used his military power to spread Christianity throughout his domains. Charlemagne understood that military might alone was not enough to hold his vast kingdom together. He needed a system of government that could effectively administer his sprawling realm. Charlemagne was a skilled administrator and a gifted organizer. He divided his empire into counties, each ruled by a count who was directly answerable to him. He established a system of royal courts to dispense justice and maintain order. He created a standardized system of weights and measures to facilitate trade. Charlemagne's reforms brought a degree of unity and stability to Western Europe that had not been seen since the Roman Empire. Charlemagne also recognized the importance of education. He was illiterate himself, but he understood the value of learning. He established a school at his palace in Aachen, inviting scholars from all over Europe to teach there. This school, known as the Palace School, became a center of learning and scholarship in the Carolingian Renaissance. Charlemagne's efforts to promote education had a profound impact on European culture. They helped to preserve classical knowledge during a time when it was in danger of being lost. They also laid the foundation for the revival of learning that would occur in the later Middle Ages. Charlemagne's reign was marked by incessant warfare. He expanded the Frankish kingdom through relentless military campaigns. Charlemagne's military achievements were nothing short of remarkable. He subdued the Saxons in a series of brutal campaigns that lasted for over 30 years. He conquered the Lombard kingdom in Italy, incorporating it into his growing empire. He defeated the Avars, a powerful nomadic group that had been a constant threat to Europe. He even campaigned against the Muslims in Spain, although his efforts there were less successful. Charlemagne's military success can be attributed to several factors. He was a skilled tactician and a charismatic leader. He had at his disposal a large and well-equipped army. The Frankish cavalry in particular was renowned for its effectiveness. Charlemagne was also a ruthless and determined commander. He was not afraid to use brutal methods to subdue his enemies. His campaigns, though often bloody, brought stability and unity to much of Western Europe. Section 5, a legacy forged in law. Charlemagne was not just a warrior king, he was also a skilled administrator and lawgiver. He understood that the rule of law was essential for the stability and prosperity of his realm. He issued numerous capitularies, which were royal decrees that served as laws throughout his empire. These capitularies covered a wide range of issues, from the administration of justice to the regulation of trade. Charlemagne's legal reforms were comprehensive and far-reaching. They helped to create a more just and equitable society. One of Charlemagne's most significant legal achievements was the codification of traditional Germanic law. These legal codes, written down for the first time, helped to preserve and standardize legal practices across his empire. Charlemagne's legal reforms were not limited to the secular sphere. He also played an active role in church affairs, issuing decrees on matters of church doctrine and discipline. He saw himself as a defender of the church and worked closely with the Pope to strengthen its authority. Section 6, the Carolingian Renaissance. Charlemagne's reign witnessed a remarkable cultural revival known as the Carolingian Renaissance. This period saw a renewed interest in classical learning and a flourishing of art, literature, and architecture. Charlemagne was a patron of the arts and sciences. He surrounded himself with scholars and artists, and he encouraged the copying of ancient manuscripts. His court became a center of intellectual and cultural life. The Carolingian Renaissance was more than just a revival of classical culture. It also saw the development of a distinctive Carolingian art style, characterized by its use of bright colors, intricate patterns, and expressive figures. This style can be seen in the numerous illuminated manuscripts, mosaics, and sculptures that were produced during this period. The Carolingian Renaissance was a brief but brilliant flowering of culture in a time when much of Europe was still mired in the Dark Ages. Section 7. The Seeds of a Dynasty. Charlemagne's empire, though vast and powerful, was not destined to last. The seeds of its disintegration were sown even as Charlemagne was at the height of his power. The empire was held together by the strength of Charlemagne's personality and his ability to command loyalty. However, Charlemagne's sons were less capable than their father. They lacked his charisma and his political acumen. After Charlemagne's death, the empire was divided amongst his heirs, and it was not long before it began to crumble. The division of the empire was not the only factor that contributed to its decline. The Carolingians faced constant threats from external enemies, such as the Vikings, who raided coastal areas, and the Magyars, who ravaged the eastern frontiers. Internal strife also weakened the empire as Charlemagne's descendants fought amongst themselves for power. By the end of the 9th century, the Carolingian Empire had effectively collapsed. It had been replaced by a patchwork of smaller, weaker kingdoms. Section 8. The Fall of an Empire. The fall of the Carolingian Empire was a gradual process that unfolded over several decades. Following Charlemagne's death in 814 AD, his son Louis the Pious inherited the throne. Louis, though a devout Christian, lacked his father's political skills. Internal strife and external threats plagued his reign. The Treaty of Verdun in 843 AD divided the empire among Louis's sons, further weakening it. The once unified realm was fragmented, with each part facing its own set of challenges. The Carolingian Empire, weakened by internal divisions and external pressures, proved unable to withstand the onslaught of Viking raids. The Vikings, skilled seafarers and fierce warriors, wreaked havoc on coastal communities and ventured far inland along rivers. Their raids disrupted trade, spread fear, and contributed to the breakdown of central authority. The Carolingian rulers were unable to mount an effective defense against these relentless attacks, further undermining their hold on power. Section 9. Conclusion. Charlemagne's enduring legacy. Though Charlemagne's empire did not long survive him, his legacy continues to shape Europe to this day. Charlemagne left an indelible mark on the political, religious, and cultural landscape of Europe. He is rightly remembered as the father of Europe for his role in uniting much of Western Europe under his rule. His reign marked the end of the Dark Ages and the beginning of a new era in European history. His legacy is multifaceted and enduring. Charlemagne's efforts to promote education and culture had a lasting impact. The Carolingian Renaissance, though short-lived, helped to preserve classical knowledge and laid the foundation for future cultural revivals. His legal reforms, particularly his codification of Germanic law, influenced the development of legal systems throughout Europe. The very idea of a united Europe, which he so forcefully embodied, continues to inspire European leaders today. Charlemagne's reign stands as a testament to the power of a single individual to shape the course of history.